Okay, good morning everyone. How are you all? Fine now? Okay, so I hope all of you can see screen. Is it visible, Priyanka? Samskruti?
Yes, ma'am, visible.
Yeah, okay. So let us start. Let us continue with our second module. I have already introduced which concept we are going to see in this module. So right now I'm going to tell you some of the concept of first part of this module, that is relational model. So in this one we can see first of all structure of relational database, reduction of ER model into relational schema. Yesterday I told you that what, how and why it is required to reduce ER model to relational schema. Okay, then we are going to see schema instance distinction and then relational algebra. Okay, so today we are going to check out these concepts and let us see one by one. First of all, structure of relational database. Okay, so database, we all know that collection of rows and columns. Okay, so relational database is also each and every data model is going to represent the data present over there. So it is always in the form of tabular structure. Okay, just there is a way of representation of that data, and that's why we are going to check out it as a data model. So this is one kind of representation of database, and that is relational database. So it consists of collection of tables, each having unique name. So substantial theory exists for relational databases. Okay. So this theory assists in the database of relational databases and efficient processing of user request for the information through and from database. Okay, so relational database consists of collection of tables and each one is having a unique name. So that's why we are going to have a row in a table which is representing relationship among set of values. As we have seen in cardinality, we are going to relate, we are going to map number of rows. Okay, so that row is going to create a relationship here, and it is between set of values. So the table represent a collection of relationship. There is a direct correspondence between the concept of a table and mathematical concept of a relationship. Okay, so what is the basic structure? So for each attribute in an entity or a relationship set, there is a set of allowed values, and those values are going to be stored in the form of domain. Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, light is not available here, so that's why I'm asking. If I'm suddenly disconnecting, please call me anyone. Okay. So what is the basic structure? So as I told you, attribute of an entity is having set of collection of values, and those values are called as domain of that attribute. Why domain of that attribute? Because only one type of data we are going to store in that attribute. That's why it is called as a domain of that attribute. Okay. So this domain of the attribute is standing of entity set. Okay. For that particular attribute. So let us take an example. Here is an instructor relation. Okay. This is the instructor relation. So relation is set of tuples and attributes. Okay, so here I have told that ID, name, department name, salary are the attributes, or we can say columns. Okay, and these horizontal values stored are called as tuples or rows. So now in this one, suppose set would be subset of Cartesian product. Okay, so what is Cartesian product? That we will check it out in our upcoming lectures. So that product is nothing but we are going to multiply those values which are available in tuples. Okay, so for that purpose we are using this that value or that product value is called as a standing value here. Okay, so this is all about the structure of relational database. So what is the schema? In our database, at the start, we have seen some of the concepts over there, components over there, that are schemas, instances. Okay, so in the same way, we are having some of the relational schemas and instances here also. So as I told you, whatever the concept we have included, that we have to represent in the mathematical format, that is theoretical format. So that all requires some kind of variables. Okay, so our table is made up of tuples and attributes. Okay, so each and every one must be represented with particular variable name. So for attributes, we have to represent it with A1 to AN, A1, A2 up to AN. Okay, so these are the attributes, and when we combine these attributes in particular way, that is going to create a relation. So this R is equal to collection of A1, A2 up to AN. Number of attributes are there. This is called as a relation schema. So when we compare this with this instructor table, so what we say, instructor is equal to into bracket ID, name, department name and salary. So instructor is equal to ID, name, department name and salary. This is called as a relation schema. And what is relation instance? And relation instance is represented with the letter R. Okay, so it is defined over schema. Definitely all our instances are going to be added into schema. That's why it is denoted by R of capital R. Small r is nothing but instance of that relation, and capital R is nothing but the relation schema. Okay, so the current value of a relation are specified by that particular table, definitely. And all the elements are nothing but the tuples. Okay, all the values present over there. So an element T of a relation R is called a tuple and represented by a row in that table. Okay, so attribute. So already we have seen number of times this word attribute, but here we are using it with the specific property. Okay, just a minute. So when we are having a particular set of values for each attribute, particular set of values for each of attribute is called as domain of that attribute. Why it is called as domain of that attribute? Because they store all atomic values. Okay, and that is indivisible. And specifically we can say null value also be a part of that domain. Okay, and it is indicated by value unknown. Okay, but when you will pass any constraint to any particular attribute, at that time, as per the property of that constraint, you are supposed to think about the null value. Okay, so null value causes complications in the definition of many operations. So let us take an example about this. Okay, so this is our relation. Right now, 3 attributes are there. These are the attributes. Okay, and when we will store instances into it, it is going to create tuples. Okay, and this attribute is going to store only PRN number. So this will be called as a domain of that attribute. So PRN number will be the domain of this attribute. Okay, and the most important part, when you are going to assign this as a primary key. Okay, primary key, how we denote primary key? By providing underline to the name of that attribute. Okay, so when we will provide the primary key, there is a property or rule of that primary key is any cell in that attribute must not contain null value. Must not contain null value. Why? As I told you earlier also, if we are checking out student database, so name we are having, okay, address we are having, but if that student is not having PRN number, so it is little bit difficult for that student to apply for number of exams. Okay, so that's why this null value is called as an unknown one, and this unknown case depends on the key constraint which is provided to that attribute. Okay, after that, relations are unordered. Right now we are not having any ordered structure of our database, so all the tuples which are present over there are irrelevant. So they must be stored in an arbitrary order. Okay. So right now the tuples here 2, 2, 2, 2, 2 IDs are these one. They are not in a proper way. They are not arranged or they are not grouped in a proper way. So that's why this tuple attributes or this relation is called as is occupying unordered tuples. Okay, so these are the relations which are unordered. Okay, so when we are going to relate with another table, we have to make it first in ordered state. Okay, then and then only we can create a relation. What is database schema? Okay, so right now we have seen number of the definitions about database schema. Okay, but we are going to check it out in a proper theoretical way. So database schema is the logical structure of database. Okay, so to whom we call it as a schema? Let us check out. Okay, so this is the SQL command line. I'm going to connect it. Password mixer. Yes. Okay, so when I will create a table with data with a name of stud, which will contain ID, number, then name with the data type varchar, and 25 will be the size. Okay, so already आपण तो last time create केला होता. So आपण just what is schema आपण ते बघूया. Okay, so this is called as a schema, database schema, which will contain the total attributes which are present over there with the data types allocated to them. Okay, so this is called as a database schema. And suppose I will insert any value. Values into bracket 1, comma. Okay, so okay, so at that time हे आपण परत प्रत्येक जी कमांड मी आता पास करते आहे ती आपण परत डिटेल मध्ये बघणार आहोत. ओके, so this is called as a database schema, and when I will insert any value into that table and I will retrieve that value, this is called as an instance of that schema. One Sonali is called as an instance of that schema. Schema here is called as a stud. Okay, so this is all about the instance and schema. So we can say that in database instance is a snapshot of the data in the database at a given instance of a time. So right now for our schema, we are having instructor into bracket ID, name, department name, salary are the attributes with particular data types. That is called as a schema. And instance for this database are called as these values which are present here. Okay. So don't get confused in these values, though some of the names are different one as compared to our first module and this second module. Meaning is same one. Hello, please mute yourself. Okay, so this is the schema diagram for university database. Okay, so I told you earlier also, so one university will contain number of colleges, okay, or number of students also. So for that purpose, we have to take care of different tables into that database. So consider this is whole database and it is of university. So for university, which kind of tables we require? First one, student table, then department, then instructor, then course, then prerequisite, time slot, teachers, then classroom, sections, text, advisor. Okay, so these are the few relations present over there, and these relations will contain number of attributes over there. ओके, प्रत्येक रिलेशनला काय आहे त्याच्यामध्ये एक एक सॉरी नंबर ऑफ ॲट्रिब्यूट्स अवेलेबल आहे. सो व्हेन वी आर गोइंग टू रिलेट दॅट पर्टिक्युलर ॲट्रिब्यूट विथ अनदर वन, at that time that is going to create a schema diagram. Okay, so these are the different schemas and they are interconnected with each other by using particular attribute and values present over there. So at that time that they are going to create a schema diagram. So here we can check it out. ID. Okay, ID here it is also primary key and here it is also primary key because this is going to create a text attribute, text relation, and it is having number of primary keys which are of another table, or you can say relation. Okay, so where the attribute name, that is department name from this student table, is going to have a primary key constraint in this department table. Then we can say that course ID here it is allocated as, then department name is also here present here. So in this way we are going to relate all the relations with each other, and when we will finish this relationship, at that time the whole diagram is called as a schema diagram for university database. So anything you can take here example. There is no restriction to use the university database. So yesterday we have taken one example of visitors management system. So in that one also, if we are going to check out the visitors data, then administrator data. Okay, so all the tables are having some kind of relation with another table. So when we will draw that relation on when we will provide the constraint to that relation, at that time it is going to create a schema diagram for visitors management system. Okay, so this is all about schema diagram. Next one is the relational query language. From this statement or from this concept, we are going to move on with actual working or actual what do you say processes of our database. We are going to check out how it is going to be performed. So what is relational query language? Okay, already we have seen one structured query language introductory part about that. So what is relational query language? Yesterday I told you that SQL is going to be applied for actual implementation or manipulation of data with our database, and relational query languages are going to define all these implemented part to be represented in the form of theoretical one as well as mathematical form. So that's why it is called as a relational query language. So we have seen what is database, what are the features of database, why we require to gather all the requirements and create one diagram of ER, how we are going to convert them into tables and columns. Okay, so once we will finish all these things, we need to apply some kind of theoretical concepts, some kind of mathematical concepts also, and that can be fulfilled, or that property, that concept is fulfilled with this relational query language. Okay, so query language is a language in which user requests information from database. So whatever right now the task I have shown with this command prompt is called as a SQL, and the task, the word task that we are going to represent in the form of symbols and with the form of particular steps is called as a relational query language. So it uses relational algebra to break the user request and instruct the DBMS to execute the request. So it is the language by which user communicates with the database, and these query languages are categorized in two parts: procedural and non-procedural language. Let us see one by one what is procedural query language. So procedure, as the name implies, there is some kind of way to create this kind of query language. Okay, so user instruct the system to perform series of operations to produce the desired result. Okay, so when I will write down the query of select star from table name, that is student that we have executed, so it can be represented with the help of symbols also, and both are going to show the desired result, okay, for our query. So here user tells that what data to be retrieved from the database and how it is to be retrieved. Okay, so now let us take an example of real world. In procedural language, suppose you are asking your younger brother to make a cup of tea. Okay, so how you are going to tell about that? If you are just telling him to make a tea and not telling the process, then it is not it is a non-procedural language. Okay, and if you are going to tell a step-by-step procedure about making a tea, it is called as a procedural query language. Okay, so when you are telling any database to fetch the data in this way, that is called as a procedural query language. And when you are just firing a query to retrieve this data, so it is non-procedural. Okay, so that is going to represent in the theoretical format. This is the simplest example. And non-procedural query language, in which user instruct the system to produce the desired result without telling the step-by-step process. So here user tells what data to be retrieved but does not tell how data to be retrieved. In procedure, what happens? User tells what data to be retrieved from database and how to retrieve that data. Both the steps he is going to tell. But in non-procedural, user is not going to tell how to retrieve that data. He just wants what data is to be retrieved. Okay, this is the simple difference also. So we can say that there are a number of pure query languages, and the best one is the relational algebra. It is the procedural query language. Okay, so in that one we are having two different types, that is tuple relational calculus and domain relational calculus, and they are of non-procedural query language. So they are further again relational algebra is having some of the basic operations, and Turing, it is not Turing machine equivalent, okay, but Turing machine you can learn in फ्लॅट आय थिंक फ्लॅटमध्ये तुम्हाला ट्युरिंग मशीनचं होईल त्याच्यामध्येच आहे. So this is all about the query language. So here you can check it out. Here you can memorize this diagram in simple way. So query language is having two parts, procedural and non-procedural language. Procedural language is going to be defined in the form of relational algebra, and non-procedural language is divided into relational calculus. Relational calculus is nothing but the tuple relational calculus and domain relational calculus. Okay, and then we are going to fetch all the data with the help of SQL, that is structured query language. So what is relational algebra? So we can say that relational algebra and calculus both are theoretical concept used in our relational model, and it is a procedural query language. It takes one or more relations tables and it performs operations to be retrieved or to get retrieved or to produce some result. Okay, so this result is also considered as a new table or a relation. Suppose we want to retrieve the student name, okay, that we have created the stud table. So what relational algebra will do in this case? It filters the name and PRN number from student table from the given input. Okay, so in mathematical form, relational algebra has produced a subset of student table. Okay, so this will have operations to indicate them, and it is applied for single relation as well as for multiple relations. Okay, so when you will apply relational algebra for single relation, it is called as unary, and when you apply it for multiple relation, it is called as a multiple means two tables or two relations, it is called as a binary. Okay, there are some more concept ternary also when you will apply it for three relations. Okay, so The subset of relations at the intermediate levels are also known as the relations. So whatever the result we will have, they are also called as a relations. Okay, so right now here is the table. Okay, and this is called as a subset of relation student. Why? Because right now we are having only one instance in that table, but suppose we are having 131 record in that table and we are retrieving only one tuple. So this is going to also create a subset of original relation. Okay. So for that purpose, just second one is the RDBMS. RDBMS is nothing but the practical implementation of relational model. And what is SQL? SQL is a practical implementation of relational algebra and calculus. So I told you that both are going to achieve one proper result, but in different way. Okay, desired output they are going to find out. So what is relational algebra? So relational algebra is a procedural query language that works on relational model, and the purpose of this query language is to retrieve data from database or to perform various operations such as DDL, DML. It can contain insert, update, delete on that data. So when we will say relational algebra is procedural query language, it is going to tell that we have seen what data is to be retrieved and how data is to be retrieved. Why? Because it is procedural language. It is going to tell system that you have to fetch this data from database via these steps. So system will understand he has to use this step to retrieve that particular data. And on the other hand, the relational calculus is a non-procedural query language, which means it tells what data is to be retrieved, but it is not going to tell how to retrieve it. So what are the operations of relational algebra? So the relational algebra operators, okay, to perform relational operation, to perform relational algebra operation, we need operators. Okay. So what is operator, what is operation, and what is operand? So let me tell you. Okay. So suppose I'm writing this expression A plus B is equal to C. Okay. So these A, B, C are called as operands. Okay. Operands. And this plus symbol and equal to symbol are called as a operators. Okay. So operands are going to, operators are going to perform specific operation, specific operations with operands is going to create one kind of expressions. Okay. And in the same way, when we are having these two tables, first, second, and we want particular desired result in third one, and in that one, suppose I want to perform a product operation here. It means I want to multiply data of this RDP database with data of this table. So at that time, these two are called as operands and these are called as operators. Okay. So for relational algebra also, there are set of operators available with which we can perform relational algebra operations. Okay. So what are those operators? Basic operators and extended or derived operators. Basic operators are built-in operators and extended or derived operators are called as a child operators, or you can say sub operators, or also you can say they are going to they will be created by using these operators. Okay. So and one more thing, they are also having some kind of extra features, okay, as compared to basic operators. So basic operators are again divided into two parts, unary operators and binary operators. Okay. आता unary operator कशावर म्हणतो आपण मगाशी बघितलं ज्यावेळेस तुम्ही एखादं ऑपरेशन सिंगल टेबल वरती वर्कआउट करता त्यावेळेस त्या ऑपरेशनला युनरी ऑपरेशन म्हटलं जातं आणि हे ऑपरेशन परफॉर्म करण्यासाठी जे ऑपरेटर तुम्ही यूज करता त्याला युनरी ऑपरेटर्स म्हणतात. Okay, so when you are performing any operation on a single table, at that time that operation is called as a unary operation, and with the help of which operators you are going to perform the same one, it is called as a unary operator. Likewise, when you are performing any operation on two different tables on two different relations, that is called as a binary operation, and it can be performed with the help of binary operators. Okay, so unary operators कोणकोणते आहेत? Projection operator आहे, and that is represented with the help of this symbol. Selection operator is represented with the help of this symbol, that is pi 1 sigma 1. Okay, rename operator is represented with the help of this symbol. Then union operator, that is binary operator, is represented with the help of this U symbol. Then cross product, it is it is represented with the help of cross symbol. Minus or set difference. Okay, so it is represented with the help of this. Now join operators. Join operators are defined with the help of this W-like symbol. Division, we know that there are two symbols, and intersection. Okay, so projection, selection, and rename we are going to perform on only one operation. One relation. So it is unary operator. Union operator, cross product, minus, set difference we can perform on two different relations, as well as these are also. Okay, so let us check out what are the basic also and sub parts. Okay, so these are the operators. They are again divided into some more parts. So basic operations are select, sigma, project, pi, union, u, set difference, minus, Cartesian product, then rename. Okay, all are included at one side because they are the basic one, though it is unary or binary. Now here is another one. Join operators are there. Okay, so the join operators are again divided into three parts. So natural join is this, like this one, W1. So when you are going to have it with the left outer join, inner join, outer join, they are again having two different types, and then outer join is again having different types. Okay, so which is the inner join, which is the outer join, we will check it out. And left outer join, you can see here two dash lines. It is at left side, so it is left outer join. It is at right side, so it is right outer join. And when you are drawing these dashes or slipping lines to both the sides, so it is going to create a full outer join. Okay, then intersection and division. So these are the operators. Then first one, that is the select operator. So how we are going to have it? Select operator is denoted by symbol sigma. Okay, this is sigma, and it is used to find out the tuples in a relation. Okay, it is used to find out the rows in a table which satisfies given condition. Why we are using this given condition statement? Right now we have used the statement of select one, that select star from student. Okay, so it is going to retrieve all the tuples which are present from the present in that relation. But suppose I want to retrieve select, let me insert any one new value into it, the same one, insert into values into bracket 2 comma okay, so second row is also created, and if I am retrieving all the data from that table, I will use select star from name of that table. Star is going to represent all the tuples over there. Okay, so it will retrieve two tuples, two instances. Okay, and I just want to find out the PRN number of Suyash. So how I will provide that condition? So select star from stud where I will write down name. I know the name of that person, okay, but I don't know PRN number. So I will write the in this way. So as I did mistake here, double quote. Most of the time when we are writing string, we are using double quote. Okay, don't forget that here we are using single quote. Okay. Now we have retrieved this PRN number. Okay, and I just want to retrieve only PRN number. So what I will write? Select PRN. Okay, from stud where name is equal to Sonali. I will just get out the PRN number here. Okay, so this is called as the condition. The condition is written in the form of where clause. Okay, so this we are going to represent here. And when we think of where clause, and it is used for specific purpose. Okay, so how we are using this sigma operator or sorry select operator in represent that operation in theoretical way. So we will write down select, that is with the help of sigma, condition or predicate, both are meaning of same one, and relation or table name. Okay, so sigma into bracket or sigma, we will provide the condition and we will apply the relation. Okay, let us take an example. So here is the example and we are applying sigma. Okay, that is select operator we are applying. Customer table is here, which is having three attributes: customer ID, customer name and city. Okay, so customer ID is C10100, name is Steve and city is Agra. Okay, so and what we want to find out, we are going to apply particular query. Okay, and we want to find out the name of or all the details of the person who is belonging from Agra city. So I will write down sigma customer underscore city, name of that attribute equal to, into double quote. Here you have to use double quote for writing string. Okay, but when you will perform SQL, you have to use single quote. From where you want to fetch that data? Customer relation. So both the meanings are same. Okay, and here is our example. Okay, so if we want to apply this for our this example, how we will apply? Let us take a overlook. Okay, so we have to write down first select statement. For select one, we are using sigma. Then what is the format? Condition. What is condition? Name. So name is equal to, here we have used in SQL single quote, but we have to use double quote here. I will write down name. Okay, and into bracket, what I have to write down? Name of that table. So I will write down student. Okay, so this is the select operation. Okay, both are going to tell the both are going to retrieve the information about Sonali. Okay. Then here are examples that you have to write down. Select tuples from tutorials where topic is equal to database. You just need to write down. Okay. And then select tuples from tutorials where topic is database and author is core. You have to select tuples from customer where sales is greater than 50,000. Okay, you have to write down a relational algebra of this select operator. Okay, I will give it to you at the time of assignment. Okay, so I'm not going to show the output. Okay, we will stop here and we will move on to the query session. Okay, is there anyone? Any doubt? Yes? Priyanka, Samskruti, Pallavi, Prajwal, Yash, any doubt? Am I audible? Siddhi?
No, ma'am.
Muskan?
No, ma'am.
Krishna?
No, ma'am.
Everything is clear na? Aditya? Vaishnavi?
No, ma'am.
Anushka? Harshal?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Can we use sigma in place of select?
In SQL command line?
Yes.
No, 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 no. It is for theoretical representation of your SQL data. And for SQL, you have to use clause of select one. Okay.
Okay.
Relational algebra is only used for representation of all the SQL command lines or SQL data into theoretical format. So they are represented with the help of sigma. So when you want to perform select star from student table name, so at that time in writing purpose or for theoretical purpose, you have to use sigma. You cannot use this sigma for implementation. Sigma is not going to retrieve any data from database. It is going to tell only that this statement, when you will convert to SQL form, it will retrieve this data. That's why. Any other
Okay, ma'am.
query? Okay. Any other query? Yes. Sanmati? Omkar? Nikhil? Okay. So we will stop here. If you have any query, you can ask me.